Hey guys, welcome to the tutorial. Today what we are going to do is we're going to work on Azure SQL, and the objective of this tutorial is to spin up SQL Server and the SQL database, and then we will have some default schema inside the SQL Server, and we will identify one of the table, and what we will do is we will encrypt the columns, and followingly we will also do a data masking on the sensitive columns. So to achieve that, we need to do a series of steps, we need to create a virtual network as you can see in the schematic diagram, and then we will create a virtual machines, and followingly we will create a SQL server and the SQL database. And to encrypt the column on the table, we will need Azure Key Vault. And if you're not familiar with Azure Key Vault, I have a video in my YouTube channel already. I'll put it on the top right corner of the card, or also you can see it on the YouTube video description, and check on that and then come back again. So, and coming back to the tutorial, so after creating the Azure Key Vault, we will RDP to the virtual machines that I have in the schema diagram, and then we will install SQL Server Studio, and then we'll make a connection from the virtual machine to the SQL Server, and then what we will do is we will encrypt some of the data inside the table, and if we have time, we will also do the data masking on the sensitive column. Okay, let's quickly jump on to the Azure portal, and we'll do the rest. Okay guys, so I am inside the Azure portal. What we have done is so far is I have already created the network security group, and I have created the virtual network, and I have deployed a Windows box inside the virtual network, and everything is in place. Let's go and create Azure Key Vault, and I will resume the video back. And again, I'm saying if you're not familiar with Azure Key Vault, please check on the YouTube description where I have given the link for that video, and I'll go and create, and then I'll resume the video back. Okay guys, so my Key Vault is ready, and as you can see there, my deployment is complete. So let's go on creating the SQL server. So just type on it like SQL database. Will give you the wizard, and then just create SQL database, and we just need to map the resource group, and then give it a good name like database 1234, and we don't have a SQL server in place, so I'll just create on the fly by just clicking create new, and let's give it a name like SQL dev box 12345, and I think it has to be in small letters, so I'll just type it like dev box 12345, and I got it. And this is your server admin, so make sure that you remember whatever you are going in. So I'll put it like testing 12345, and my name is good, and then I'll put in my password. Okay, and then the location is East US, and then you should be good to go. Once you click OK, and this should pop out, and let's just configure the storage database. I'm gonna click on to the standard, and I'll make it to 20, and I think we should be good, and I'll just click on apply. And for now, let's just do a local redundant backup storage or geo redundant. Let me just go ahead and do a geo redundant, that's fine. And going back to one more time, whatever we have, like it's all good. Okay, just one more time guys, so we have to click on this one. I forgot that we have to make sure that allow Azure service to access server. This is very important, so I forgot. I need to apologize guys. So before creating the database, I forgot that I did not click on this allow Azure service to access server when I create a database server. So let me go back to the same wizard again, and then I'm going to input my password one more time, and I make sure everything is good, and now we should be good, and make sure this is enabled. This is very important, so click OK, and let's just configure one more time. Now I'll go on to the basics standard, and then I'll push it on to 20, and then I'll click apply. And for now, let's just use geo redundant backup storage. That's fine. And I'll go on to the networking. Right now, the connectivity method is no access. Let me just click on to public endpoint, and I'll make sure that allow Azure service and resource to access the server. And I will also add my current client IP address. That's fine too. So let's just move on to security. I don't want a defender in place, so it's fine. And then let's have a sample database. So we should have this in place, like sample. So it will go and create a sample database for us. Let's do a tagging. I'm not going to do that. Let's just review and create. So once this is created, I will come back again, and we'll go and install the SQL Server Studio on the virtual machine. I will pass on the video and resume it back. Okay guys, so our SQL database and servers are provisioned, and you can see the deployment is complete. So what we have done so far is we have created a virtual machine, and we have created the virtual network, and we had all the NSG network security group in place for RDP. We went ahead and created a SQL Server and SQL database. And I'm sorry that I have not mentioned the Vault, Azure Vault, that needs to be in place. So let's just, I don't have anything right now. Let's have this NSG in place here. And I have not placed the Azure Vault here. I will do the correction after this video. So let's just quickly jump back to our virtual machine, and now let's just go and install SQL Server Studio. So I'm logged into my virtual machine, and open the Internet Explorer, and just Google out like SQL Server Management Studio. This is fairly a very big file. So click on this file, and it's exe executable. And once that is downloaded, I will resume the video back. It's started downloading. I'll just pass on the video and resume it back. Okay guys, so my SQL Server exe file is ready to execute. So let me click on the open folder, and this is the file that we have in place. Just right click on it, and we should be able to execute this file. Just couple of next, and we should be good. And I'll pass on the video one more time, and then I'll resume it back. Okay, so this is the prompt. I just click on next, install, and once that is done, I will again resume the video back. For now, let me just pause it, as it's going to take some time to do all the installation. Okay guys, so I just came back, and it's still installing halfway through. So I will again pass on this video, and I will resume it back once it is done. Okay guys, so the installation is complete finally after a good 10 minutes. Let's just get it on to the, make sure that we are able to connect to the virtual the SQL database. So let me pass on the video. It's taking some time to boot up. Okay guys, so the SQL Server Studio is up, and let's just give it a name. I already copied my SQL Server name here. Just have to do SQL Server authentication, and then let's our admin name and password. So I have typed in my login as testing 12345, and then I'll enter my password. Let's click connect, and it should connect without any issues. So as you can see that it started popping up everything on the left hand side. Let's just drag it a little bit so you can see, and let's get into the database. And remember guys, just we created database 1234, and that's the one that is here. And we should see all the sample schema that we asked the Microsoft to install. So you can see that sales LT schema is the sample schema that comes along with the SQL Server Studio. So let's just right click on it, and make sure that everything is working nice and clean. So let's just execute a query. This will return the top 1000 rows. We don't want 1000 rows. Let's just type 10 and click on execute, and you can see that we have our password and password solved, and the phone number, email address is all like it's all out for the people to view, and we don't want to happen to this, and these are all like right now it's not encrypted. So let's go and encrypt this sales lt schema.customer table and encryption so on top of it. So all we have to do is just click on this table and then do a right click, and you should see somewhere it says encryption. So encrypt column, just click on this encrypt columns, and that will give you another dialog box. So let's go and do a column selection. So we have to select the column that we want to be encrypted and the phone number, password, and then let's just type in the choose type as deterministic for everything. I will explain what is that on the later on tutorial. So for now, let's just check everything, and okay, and then we should be good to click next, and that will take you to the master key configuration. And here we want to use the Azure Key Vault that we created. So what it happens is when you click on Azure Key Vault, it will ask you to sign in with the Microsoft account that is tied to the subscription. So let me click on sign in, and this will take you to the Azure portal. So I will pause on the video, and once I log in my credentials, I will be back in resuming this video. Okay guys, so I have entered my username, and then I'll click next, and I will have to enter my password. I have copied my password and click sign in, and this will authenticate this studio to access my Azure Vault. And once that is done, we will you see that once it is authenticated, it automatically pulls up our key vault that I have created in Azure portal. So let's click on next, and we should be good. Once that is finished, everything will be right in place. Just have to click one more time to authorize it. So I'll click on one more time, and as you can see that the status is passed, and it says performing encryption operation. So it will take some time. I will pause the video and resume it back. Okay guys, so now our encryptions are all in the place, and it should be good. And let's go and do a data masking now, actually, because now the underlying data is encrypted, but we don't want the folks who don't have authorization to see the company the customer's email or phone number. So in that case, how do we mask them? So let's jump on to the Azure portal and quickly do the task, and then revert back again to the studio. Okay, so once the encryption is done, we can just log into the database using this connection string that I've already made. Just go on to this tab, click on this, and just enter your login, admin login and then password, and towards the end you have this option button, and click on the additional parameter and enter the database name, and that will log into this database. So let's just verify if the encryptions are in place. Just go on to the database, click on security, and you have to go to the database, and inside the database you actually have something called security, and down the below you actually have something called always encrypted keys. Just click on that, and you have the column master key and column encryption key. So when you click on that, it will expand, and then it will tell you that CMK auto 1 is what we choose, and just open the column encryption key, that is the CEK auto 1. So when we click on that tables, let's see if the columns are all encrypted or not. Let's just right click here and select top 1000 rows, and you can see that the last name and the first names are all encrypted, and so does the phone numbers and everything. So let's go on to the Azure portal and start working on to the data mask. So when you log into the Azure portal, go to the SQL database, and underneath the security you have something called dynamic data masking. And what it does is it actually recommends the field that you can mask. And I have already done two of the masking, like one for the address postal code, another one is for the credit card approval. And these are all the recommended one that you can just click on this add mask and it will pop up here. But if you want to do a custom one, you can always do that by just clicking on to this add mask, and you can select our schema, which is now sales LT, and then you can go to anything that you want, like customer, and then you can click on the column that you want mask to be happening. And let's say that you want to mask the password. And here what we have here is the masking field format. Either you can use the default one, or you can use your custom strings like padding and stuff like that. So if you just click XX and then click on add, it will do the custom mapping. So we're not going to do the custom masking, so let's just jump back to the SQL Studio, and let's see if the masking has been happening or not. I have logged in as an admin user, and we are going to query the sales LT schema and customer. And remember guys, just we added a mask for salesperson, and if you just highlight it and then just execute it, now you're not seeing any masking, because you have logged in as an admin, so you have the privilege to see that. Now let's just close this tab, and in this tab I have logged in as a normal user, and nobody has an access to this table, so it has a less privileges. So let me execute and let's see what it is showing now. So if you execute as a normal user, you can see that the padding has happened. And that's it guys. So we have successfully performed the two things. One is on the encryption, another one is the data masking. So that's it. And if you have any doubt, just do let me know, and I have provided all the links for the softwares that you want to install in this tutorial, and other notes and everything. And please give it a thumbs up on this YouTube video, so it encourages me to upload more. And see you all. Happy learning.